understanding the service export, the potential of service export from Nigeria. So many probably are only aware of export of goods mainly. Not many are very much familiar with export of services. I'm hoping that there will be an enlightenment program that will be able to get us to begin to see the opportunities within the service sector. A number of us render fantastic services locally and probably have not thought of the fact that this service can be exported. Every time you fly a plane, that's a service export from the owner of the plane. Every time you stay in an hotel abroad, that is service export to you. There are different modes of service export and different mode of consumption. WTO have defined about 4 modes, and I will talk about that maybe this week or next week. What I will try to do is to let us see the opportunity and potential. If you look at the local economy in Nigeria, you realize that a good chunk of our GDP is currently on services. And last year, the export of service was over $6 trillion. Export of goods was about $18.9 trillion. So export of services is about a third of export of goods, about a third of export of goods. And it's growing. It's growing and growing very fast. As usual, I will have my preamble. How do we prepare for it? What are the potential? What are the prototypes? How do we promote the process and how to participate? Remember, we have our export business support services that might be of interest to you, both in goods and services. This is the Diploma in Service Export Management. This program will be starting in September. It's just like our Diploma in Export Business Management from the American Institute of Extended Studies. I'll be talking a lot about that also later on. This is an advert. I played this before, but I will skip this now because I've already played it. I will listen to it again at the end so we can spend some time discussing the business of the day. COVID is engulfing our world and causing great challenge all over the world. But you know, for service exporter, in fact, COVID is reinforcing the need for us to take service export more seriously. COVID is reinforcing the need for us to take service export more seriously. So this will be an introductory program. At least it will be, I will have been able to open the eye of many people to the opportunity in the service sector that people are not looking at. Some people don't even know the service they have can be exported. That the services they render can be exported. For example, we have a diploma program, and there is a company in the UK that registered 3 people for that diploma program. 3 people for that diploma program. And the company is based in the UK. And they are registering people for diploma program in Nigeria. 2 for diploma, 1 for basic. But the company is based in the UK and they pay from the UK. So that means as a trainer or whatever it is you're doing, there is a way to export your services actually. And we should begin to look at that value, the fact that we can export our services and probably take it more seriously. And if you are here, your interest is product, but you have someone who has service, can do service, so you can partner with them. If you learn, you partner with them, help them in promotion, whatever they get, you share the proceeds. So you can work with other people, help them with promotion. If you are able to acquire the skill to get it done. Lawyers, accountants, business, management consultants, engineers, doctors, psychologists, people in mentoring and coaching program, life coach. There's so much that can be exported beyond the shore of Nigeria. We just need to become more conscious of the fact that these services can be rendered across the shore of this country. And you know what that does? It also helps you to earn foreign exchange. It also helps you to earn foreign exchange. And you know the implication is today Nigeria with the FX challenges. I don't need to tell you again the fact that oil price went down below zero this year, even though it's back up again, but that's a signal to us regarding what is possible, or probably a signal to us regarding what is coming. A signal to us regarding what is coming, and it's very important we prepare for what is coming. We shouldn't wait for it. And like I've shown in the past, that the reason why we had that issue was because of the fact that oil price dropped due to no buyer. The red dot are ship and vessel in different parts of the world during the lockdown. That's around April, then May. These are lessons to us as humans and as a country. Number one, a lesson to let us know that we will soon have to stop this oil that we depend on in our country. So service export is becoming very imperative, and there is a need for a lot of awareness on this actually. International trade, foreign trade, international business, external trade, or regional trade is referred to exchange of goods and services. Exchange of goods and services across international borders. And in most countries, it represents a significant share of GDP. In Nigeria, service export is very low, but service as a sector is contributing more than 50% of the GDP of Nigeria. More than 50% of Nigerian GDP is contributed by services. More than 50%. That is interesting. That is interesting. That more than 50% of our GDP is service. So why are we not exporting it? Even the goods we are exporting, it's not a good. Agric is not the largest component of GDP in Nigeria. Manufactured good is not the largest component. The industrial, the service is the largest. Import refer to purchase of goods and services from abroad, and Nigeria do a lot of that. Purchase of services from abroad. Nigeria do a lot of that. Export is the sale of services abroad. Sales of services abroad. Import involves purchase, and export involves sales of services abroad. You know, I'm also looking for banks that will champion this because, you know, because it's new. You know, when you say something is new, service is not really new. You know, when you say something is new, is old news happening to new people. Old news happening to new people. So when old news hit new people, it becomes a news that is new. But it is not new. Anytime you travel, someone is earning forex from you already. From the flight to the accommodation to whatever, to the things, services you sub. In fact, when you go abroad for holiday or you go abroad for medicals, that's export of services to you. Any intangible activity that enable you to earn foreign exchange from another country, any intangible activity you do that enable you to earn foreign exchange from another country is export of services. And it's export of services because it is intangible. According to WTO, merchandise trade in services, in goods, is going to go down between 13 and 32% in this year. Remember, I mentioned currently we have 150, 18 trillion, we have $18 trillion of trade in the world, 18 trillion. If 13 is off that, we are going to be reduced by about 16 plus. But if 32 leave that, we are going to be down to about 12 or 13 trillion plus. That is a lot of loss for the world. Triggered by COVID-19, a huge loss for the world, actually. a huge loss for the world, actually. Nearly all regions will suffer double-digit decline in trade. Trade will likely fall steeper in sector with complex value chain. But service, that's where I'm going. Service trade will most directly affected by COVID-19 through transport and travel. So transport and travel are service exports. Transport by sea or transport by air or travels. Merchandise goods, can you see merchandise goods last year fell to 18.8, but service export last year rose by 2% to 6 trillion. 6 trillion. $6 trillion. That is service alone. That's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That's about a third of the trading goods. That is a lot. That is a lot. And if you look at this, even COVID, services like ICT, e-commerce, education and financial services, these are impact. Some of them are impacted by COVID, some are not. Even financial services and education, a number of them are using technology to come back into the green zone and become a winner. More and more companies are finding profit in exporting services, and several trends ensure that this export will grow rapidly. So the reason why you need to key in now is the trend of service in the world has shown significantly that it's going to grow. It's going to continue to increase. The trend. So it's a good time for us to join. It's a good time for us to join as a country, because every data and statistics reveal that service export is going to grow. Service exports are an important emerging trend in global trade. Many additional manufactured product exports increasingly contain technology that require installation and troubleshooting. So, because we are having more and more technology that require installation and troubleshooting, maintenance and repair, and we are depending more and more on those technology, those are the things making service exports to grow. Those are part of the things making service export to grow. Because you buy a technology to install, someone coming to your country to install for you, you have a problem, someone troubleshoot from abroad and you pay it, you have to maintain, someone coming to come and maintain it for you, you have to repair, someone come here to repair it for you. They are rendering service. As long as you are paying them forex in their country, they are rendering service. In rendering service, it's either I go to render the service or they come to me to render the service. What is critical, what is constant in all the four modes of service export defined by ICC, what is constant in all the four modes of those exports is basically the fact that foreign exchange is paid for the service rendered from country A to country B. The increase in service exports is a natural outcome of continued growth in service economy in North America. Measurement of service trade is complicated by the intangible nature, and that's the challenge with service. Intangible nature of the service, as well as the wide variety of business models through which service can be exported. So there is a challenge. The challenge is because it's service and because it's intangible, sometimes people don't appreciate it. And that's why your modus operandi must be different in terms of how you approach the market. What I mean by that is this. Your modus operandi must be different in your market entry strategy. Why? Because you are rendering something they can't see. That means there must be a way to have a taste of your value, of your service. It is often said that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. The taste of the pudding is in the eating. So one of the very viable way to enter into export market is to be able to provide services. Let me give you an example. Do you realize a lot of the IT services, most of the time when you want to subscribe, they will give you free version, maybe for a month or 2 months. You can even have free version for life. They will limit what you can do. When you see the benefit, you pay more. Every time you use your card to pay, you are paying for a service. So that's why our IT guys in Nigeria can do a lot. Is to put on our thinking cap and ask ourselves, is there someone that have done something? Can you do it and do it better? Why don't you do it and do it better? And then market it also to them in their country. And market it to them in their country. Andela is doing something similar to this. For those that know Andela, the IT company. So the idea basically is that we can export our services. And technology has made that easier. Now, let's compare exporting goods versus exporting services. Exporting goods versus exporting services. Exporting a product, the item you can see, hold, easily assign a monetary value to, and transport from point A to point B. It is not that complicated, but exporting a service requires a somewhat different approach. The 4 obvious ones are tangible and intangible. Goods are tangible, services are intangible. Visible and invisible. Goods are visible, services are invisible. Measurable and immeasurable. Goods can be measured, can be weighed, can be assessed. Services cannot until the person has finished. But for goods, before you buy it, you can assess it. High perceived value versus low perceived value. Goods, if I see a tablet, it's an Apple product, I can appreciate the value. But low perceived value for services. This is why service exporter always ensure that they have a version of their services for free. You cannot see or touch a service, and you often cannot assess its true value until after you have used it and discover all the resulting benefits. You can't. It's like a doctor that wants to consult online until you have finished consultation and prescribe, and the person take the drug and discover it's okay, he cannot appreciate what you've done. You are a graphic designer. You are even better as a graphic designer. They can see something you have done in the past. And you can design for them. They can see it. Only that you can show them online. And then before you send it to them, after they paid, or do a trial for them. You must find a way to render that service in a free version for anybody to appreciate your service. Are you a lawyer? Are you an accountant? In fact, there is a lady in Nigeria, somewhere in Abuja, that renders services, call center services, I think even IT support services, I think accounting services, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm very sure the call center services to American companies. So people are already doing this in Nigeria. Service is in many ways a tougher sell than a product, either at home or abroad. In many ways, a tougher sell, either at home or abroad. Each of the listed differences above create a marketing challenge for service exporter, perhaps the most crucial being the need to convince a distant customer to buy your service. The need to convince a distant customer to buy your service. Sight unseen and without any idea of how it will benefit it. He's not seeing the service. He doesn't even have an idea of how it will benefit him. And that is the biggest challenge of services. But in spite of the challenge of services, guess what? Services are still being rendered. People are buying services. What is critical is the market entry strategy, market entry option that you have decided to adopt. Market entry services, market entry option that you have decided to adopt. That is what is very critical. In fact, in my opinion, that is the most critical success factor, in my opinion. That is very critical and the most critical success factor. For those that are just joining us, you might want to have access to this afterwards. And one of the ways you can do that is to join our Telegram channel. I will drop the Telegram channel link for you right now. You can join the Telegram channel by clicking the link. If you click that link, I just dropped, you can join our Telegram channel. You can join the Telegram channel. And the Telegram channel basically enables you to be able to have access to the recorded version of this program, the audio, and also part of the video of this program. That's the whole essence of the recorded version. Yeah. So let's continue. So I thought to do that so I don't forget it. We are discussing the differences between product and services. Selling a service requires more power. Selling a service require even more people power than successful product sales. You need more effort. When you export products, you offer it, clinch a sale, follow through, and troubleshoot as needed. Then, once the product is in the hand of the customer's hand, they oversee sales in their geographical territory and contact you in order to order for more product when they want to sell, when they sell out. There is need for communication between buyer and seller once the product is in the distribution pipeline and moving as it should by contract. A service requires direct interaction with your customer, for example, via email, Skype, Zoom, different platforms. Not just initially, but for the duration of the service contract. Not just initially, but for the duration of the service contract. As for some services, of course, the quality of your interaction with your customer is exactly what you are paying for. This is why people are with superior communication skill, diplomacy, and this can't be emphasized enough, acute cultural awareness. Now, one of the things the diploma we teach is the cultural awareness. How to be able to know if I'm dealing with a Mexican, how do they reason? If I'm dealing with an Indian, how do they reason? If I'm dealing with a Chinese, how do they reason? What are the cultural considerations I must be aware of to avoid culture clash? You need what is called cultural intelligence. You need what is called cultural intelligence to be able to relate with these people. Before we leave preamble, let's talk about the benefit, and then we'll look at preparation before we close today. What are the benefits? According to WTO, some of the benefits of trade in services include economic performance. An efficient service infrastructure is a precondition for economic success. Service such as telecommunication. Now, telecommunication is a service, and that service is being rendered to Nigeria from South Africa. So service have levels. Banking is a service. Nigeria is currently exporting banking services to a lot of African countries, from EcoBank to UBA to First Bank to GTB. They are exporting services to different African countries. Insurance, transport. Transport supply, strategically important input for all sectors. Goods and services. Without the spur of competition, they are unlikely to excel in this role, to the detriment of overall economic efficiency and growth. An increasing number of governments does rely on an open and transparent environment for the provision of services. Development. Access to world-class service help exporter and producer in developing countries to capitalize on their competitive strength. Whatever the goods and service they are selling, a number of developing countries have been able to build on foreign investment and expertise to advance in international service market, from tourism and construction to software development and healthcare. Services liberalization has thus become a key element in many development strategies. Like when liberalizing, for example, telecommunication in Nigeria, and see the development, because people were able to export services to Nigeria because we liberalized telecommunication. So MTN was exported to Nigeria. Consumer savings. There is a strong evidence in many services that liberalization leads to lower prices, better quality, and wider choice for consumers. Such benefits, in turn, work their way through economic system and help improve supply condition of many products, other products. Thus, even if some prices rise during liberalization, for example, cost of local calls, this tends to be outweighed by price reduction and quality gain elsewhere. For example, you saw the competition in the telecommunication space, and the fact that today we are calling a lot cheaper than where we started, and then we have fun for other things. Faster innovation. Countries with liberalized service market have seen greater product and service innovation. And process innovation, The explosive growth of the internet in the US is in marked contrast to its lower takeoff in many continental European countries, which have been more hesitant to embrace telecom reforms. Greater transparency and predictability. A country commitment in its WTO service schedule and rule amount to legally binding guarantee that foreign firms will be allowed to supply their service under stable conditions. A number of countries in Africa are signatory to WTO agreement. WTO have an agreement called General Agreement on Trade in Services. It's called GATS, G-A-T-S, General Agreement on Trade in Services, and many countries are signatory to it. This gives everyone with a stake in the sector, producer, investors, worker, and users, a clear idea of the rule of the game. They are able to plan for the future with greater certainty, which encourage long-term investment. Technology transfer. Service commitment to WTO help to encourage foreign direct investment. Such FDI typically bring with it new skills and technology. When a country allows service to be liberalized, FDI come in because people come to set up because there is a mode of service that involves going to set up in the country where you want to export service to. Some you can do from your country. For many of us, we can do it from our country. For technology guys, for lawyers, for accountants, for trainers, most of this can be done from your country. Domestic employee learn the new skill. Domestic firm adopt the new technique, and firm in other sector that use service sector input, such as telecom and finance, benefit too. So now WTO categorize services into 12 categories, and most likely your service fall into one of these. Each category have peculiarities. Business services, communication services. Business services can be management consulting, marketing report, or marketing research. In fact, a number of lecturers can actually do a lot of research for companies abroad. Market research, for example, locally. Communication services, construction and related engineering services, distribution services, educational services, environmental services, financial services, health-related services and social services, tourism and travel-related services, recreational, cultural, and sporting services, transport services, and other services not included on this list are all potential export, a potential service for